Actually sang about this horrific on his song Romantic. How the hell you have a romantic homicide?
Office can bring. That is first-degree murder with special circumstances. The special circumstances being lying in wait, committing this crime for financial gain, or murdering a witness in an investigation. These special circumstances carry with it, along with the first-degree murder charge, a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. The determination on whether or not the district attorney's office will seek the death.
And see, you need to incorporate that death penalty. And we need to do it. We need to live stream that. You get the streamers to come in, you get Casanat, you get I Show Speed, and you stream it to the world. Just to make a lesson. Sometimes you have to be cruel and unkind to show that we don't play this shit. You took the life of a life of a child.
Penalty will be made at a later time. Before I get into the actual charges, and there are additional charges against Mr. Burke, including continuous sexual acts, lewd and lascivious sexual acts with an individual under 14 years old, and mutilating a human remains of a body. Before I get into the description of these charges and their seriousness, I want to look at...
And look, we know how this goes, right? So you know how he got into the mutilation of the body. So after he took her out, you know, what he probably did, he probably looked at her, why did you make me do this to you? Then he panicked. I got to get rid of the body. What's going to happen? And then he goes into a fit of rage as he pulls out a bone saw to take her apart as if she's an action figure and put her in plastic bags in the trunk of a Tesla. And you know what he did after that? He flew his ass to go on tour to sing to the world. Fry his black ass. Look to your neighbor and say, fry his black ass.
This, as I am a parent of 3 children, and a parent's nightmare is a situation where your daughter goes out one night and never comes back. As we will show in a court of law, and what I also want to make sure about that the understanding of these charges is clear, is my description of these charges is not evidence that we are going to present in court. These charges, in fact, will not be evidence in the court. Evidence will be the witness testimony, the documents, and different types of admissible testimony that we will admit into court in the prosecution, and if it leads to the eventual trial of Mr. Burke, to convince a jury of 12 people beyond a reasonable doubt that each and every one of these charges is true, as well as the special allegations and circumstances that have been alleged. Now, back to this being a parent's nightmare. On April 23rd, 2025, as been alleged by the complaint, Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time, went to Mr. Burke's house in the Hollywood Hills. She was never heard from again. On September 8th, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, Miss Celeste's remains, her and decomposed remains, were found in 2 bags inside of a front trunk of a car registered to Mr. Burke. Thereafter began an investigation. The investigation was to determine who killed, who murdered, and months before. That investigation was carried out in unison and in partnership between the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division and the District Attorney's Office. At every point in the investigation, through the arrest and the filing of charges, the LAPD and the District Attorney's Office have worked in lockstep. There's been no disagreements amongst these entities in deciding how to proceed with this case, ultimately leading to these charges today. So what you have as well with these charges is that, again, there are 3 sets of charges that have been brought. The first-degree murder with special circumstances, and again, those special circumstances are lying in wait.
If they just release him in the general population, in the prison, get this over with by next week. Instead of wasting all this money and taxpayer dollars, we know what he did.
That Celeste went to Mr. Burke's home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint at his invitation, and again, was not heard from again. The second is a special circumstance being that this murder was committed for gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge.
Oh, she was threatening his career. That's what did it. That's what did self-speech shit. And she was threatening his music career, so that triggered him. He said he had to eliminate her.
In addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the was Celeste, and the investigation was into the lewd and lascivious sexual acts committed by Mr. Burke that is the subject of count 2 of this complaint with Celeste while she was 14 years old.
If they release this guy in general population, he'll be pregnant. He'll be pregnant like in about a week before they take him out. He'll have twins. And
I had the chance to meet with some of the family members of Celeste, and their grief is incalculable as to what happened to their daughter. What they have demanded, what we have assured them that the district attorney's office working with LAPD would give them is the proof beyond doubt on who killed their daughter, on how their daughter was killed, when their daughter was killed, and bring that killer to justice. That killer that we have now charged is David Anthony Burke.
you know what's so interesting about, like, there's a fight for this guy's innocence, and we know what he did. I mean, you could clearly go, they'll end up doing, they'll send warrants to Tesla. You can clearly go into the cloud to track the movement of that car. You could track the exact movement of that car when the door opened, when the front opened, when everything opened, when it was going down. They can match everything to the timelines. So his ass is cooked. He's a weirdo, and he deserves to be where he is. And I mean, I just can't believe it. Why would you do this? You know, of course we got R. Kelly. You know, of course R. Kelly did, and I'm not going to sit here and try to justify any of his disgusting crimes. However, he didn't cut up bodies and put them in the trunk of the car. Okay. Here's another one. This real quick. We got another one here that I want to show you guys about this case. Let's take a look.
Can you clarify something? Again, it came out today. I just want to make sure I'm accurate. Your theory of the case is that Burke allegedly lured Celeste out to this property, that she was going to report, was she going to report him to the police about their relationship, and that is why he killed her? And if I'm correct, how do you intend to prove that?
So the actual details of the evidence will be presented at the preliminary hearing and later at a trial. What we charge, though, and what the complaint charges is first-degree murder with 3 different special circumstances. The first one is lying in wait. And the allegation, as alleged in the complaint, is that Burke invited Celeste to his house on April 23rd, 2025, at which point he was lying in wait to murder her. The second special circumstance that was charged, and by the way, the reason you end up charging special circumstances in California is that if you have first-degree murder and you get convicted of it, it's 25 years to life.
Right.
But that allows the life sentence to be with the possibility of parole. If any one of the 3 special circumstances is found beyond a reasonable doubt by the jury, that then creates a life without the possibility of parole sentence, or if we so choose to seek it, the death penalty.
You mentioned cooperating and non-cooperating witnesses. I will tell you, people will look at this and say, okay, if the allegations are true, how on earth could David, this singer, kill this girl, dismember her body, leave it in a Tesla all by himself? There are those who say there's no way that he could have done this by himself, yet he's the only one charged. Are we dealing with a circumstance where there might be others involved, but they're cooperating, and if they choose not to cooperate anymore, they may be charged? Because I was listening to the press conference today. I was wondering if there's a little bit of opening that other people might be involved here.
Well, we have an ongoing investigation in the sense that if any individuals have information about Mr. Burke or anything dealing with this particular crime, please at any time reach out to the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division or the DA's office and bring us that information. With respect to any potential other individuals, as I said during the press conference, if and when we charge anybody.
Y'all see that she was in the Tesla in the front, and he said, how he could do it by himself? You just take somebody out, and once they're gone, you go get the saw, bro, and then you walk each piece to the car. You bag up some of the pieces and walk to the car.
I'm not saying we will. You'll be the first to know.
Insane, guys. Insane. Miss Mara Young's coming in. Shout out to everybody in the chat this morning. He probably did delete it, but it's giving they covered it up at their benefit because of his tour. This case was so confusing from the beginning. They found her body while he was on tour. And I'll go with that. Happened. Everybody should be brought to, I would hope. You know, they bring everybody to justice and they're frying some asses. Okay, this is sick. And he did a lot of it. He admitted to the song. Because let me say this, right? As an artist, your art is real. I know art is real. You know, my best jokes are honest at times. So he actually sang about this horrific on his song, Romantic. How the hell you have a romantic homicide? It's sick. It's sick. As I guess he must have sat in the shower and cried after he put the body in the front of the car. He felt bad. Right now because, you know, he still has to go on tour. It's hard, you know, but he's his ass in there. He should have taken himself out. That's it. It's a wrap. It is a wrap. The white boy, they about to fry this nigga. He's done. He's done. He can't get his mind. You can't sleep as an artist without talking about this, man. You took life like he made a blood sacrifice, bro. Look at this shit. Look at it. I'm sure this will be played in court. This is all gonna be played. Look at it. Look at it. I'm probably about to take this out, but he's singing Romantic Homicide in a bloodied stained shirt. What are we talking about? Part before any of this came out, people are applauding this and looking at this as art. This is art. This is amazing. This is amazing. These are the people. Wow, the art. And as he's saying this, her body was rotting in the front of that Tesla. As he's on there performing in his blood-stained shirt. That's fashion. The fashion houses sell it. Yeah, he thought his career was going to blow up. He could just forget about it. Look, we got to look up these lyrics on this song. Because I know I'm going to have to pull this and go up on YouTube. But I want to look up the lyrics of his song because this is just sick. Let's look up Romantic Homicide lyrics. How you feeling today, though, man? Y'all all right? Y'all good? Y'all good with me, chat? These are the lyrics. I got the lyrics pulled up. So let's go over these lyrics real quick. This is Romantic Homicide, which came out in 2022. Well, maybe, okay, I'm scared. It feels like you don't enlighten me, my dear. Why am I still here? I don't mean to be complacent with the decisions you made, but why? In the back of my mind, you died. And I didn't even cry. Not a single tear. And I'm sick of waiting patiently for someone that won't even arrive. Oh, in the back of me killed you. And I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true. I hate you. Insane. Yeah, you have to, we have to try these people. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, bro, you want to get famous. You did a whole human blood sacrifice. You gotta fry him. That's a demon. That's a demon. If they're involved and people around that house were involved, they coming for y'all asses too, bro. This is unreal. It's sick. I'm just like to say, my stomach growls. I want to vomit. Shout out to Zoal Keys. She said I'm the daily news anchor, man. I appreciate that, man. But I just have to talk, man, because nobody wants to tell any truth anymore. Everybody's lying to each other. We have to bring back truth in the world. And I have to cover these things and give my real opinion. We can't allow these people to get caught up with fame. Look, here's the thing. Fame is not what it used to be. Fame is falling off the bone, right? Nobody really cares about fame. Fame doesn't hold the same prestige as it once had. Being famous now, I think it's a little weird. People are weird, bro. Very, very sad. Very, very sad.